That voice inside your head right now, the one interpreting these words and deciding what to think next, is the top layer of your brain. We can think of this active, present awareness as the CEO of your mind. As the CEO, your conscious mind operates strictly on logic and analysis. It is your active choice maker, handling the immediate problems of the present moment and executing critical daily decisions. But it operates under a severe bottleneck. This visualization illustrates the strict limit of our active awareness. This central processing funnel can only handle between 5 and 9 distinct pieces of information simultaneously. Yet a human being requires vastly more data to function. Navigating traffic, regulating your breathing, and retrieving complex memories all happen simultaneously in the background, completely bypassing this tiny conscious bottleneck. If this highly logical, analytical CEO is the only entity calling the shots, we run into a contradiction. It cannot explain why we suddenly freeze in irrational fear, or why we consistently fail to break destructive habits despite our best intentions. The conscious mind is simply the surface. Beneath it lies a much larger 3-part architecture that silently dictates our reality. To understand what is actually running the machine, we have to look past the active thoughts on the surface and drop down to the second structural layer, the subconscious mind. This comparative diagram shows the true scale. While the conscious mind struggles with a few inputs, the subconscious network processes millions of data points every second. This massive autopilot organizes raw data into automated habits and guides emotional responses without conscious permission. You tap into this layer constantly with almost zero effort. It is the system executing the precise movements when you type on a keyboard without looking at your fingers, or instantly retrieving a vivid childhood memory when you smell a familiar scent. This sprawling automated processor handles the heavy lifting of our daily routines, but it is constructed over a much darker, highly restricted foundation. Beneath the automated systems lies a heavily guarded vault, completely sealed off from our daily awareness. This is the deepest structural level of human psychology. Early psychoanalysts, notably Sigmund Freud, popularized the exploration of this hidden depth, defining it as the unconscious mind. The unconscious serves as a secure containment zone. It holds deeply suppressed thoughts, unresolved traumas, and raw, primal desires that the upper layers refuse to process. The vault is tightly locked, but it is not perfectly sealed. The volatile information stored here occasionally leaks to the surface, generating our nightly dreams or triggering completely unexpected, irrational phobias in the waking world. In a perfectly functioning system, these layers collaborate smoothly. The conscious CEO sets a clear goal, and the subconscious autopilot builds the daily habits required to achieve it. But when the unconscious associates a goal with a buried fear, it can trigger a physical response, like a racing heart or sudden fatigue, that no amount of logic can override. In these moments, the deepest layer holds a silent veto over the entire operation. This internal conflict is why sheer willpower frequently fails. Attempting to force a life change through conscious effort alone means fighting a losing battle against deep, unresolved psychological forces. Because these 3 layers often pull in different directions, lasting change isn't a matter of forcing the CEO to work harder. It requires moving the entire architecture toward a single objective. You can begin reprogramming the subconscious autopilot by intentionally feeding it powerful, repeated affirmations. This allows you to manually overwrite destructive automated loops. However, this reprogramming will definitely fail if the heavily guarded unconscious vault violently resists. If there are unresolved underlying issues, the deepest layer will completely reject the new instructions and snap you right back to your old behaviors. Safely breaching the unconscious requires specific tools. Professional therapy provides a structured environment to open the vault, identify deep traumas, and process them without overwhelming the conscious mind. Meditation serves as yet another critical strategy. By intentionally quieting the active analytical noise of the conscious CEO, you create the silence to listen to subtle signals from the deeper layers. Finally, active journaling allows you to document your emotional patterns over time, mapping out the exact location of hidden emotional roadblocks until they are no longer invisible. Addressing these hidden depths brings the three layers into a state of synchronization, where the mind finally stops fighting itself. By bravely diving into these depths, you create a unified mind that no longer sabotages its own progress.